My name is Jeremy Sheetinger, the head baseball coach at George Gwinnett College in Lawrenceville, Georgia, 2021 national champion. I'm excited about Be the Best because it is a great time to get together with like-minded individuals and share and challenge each other to think differently about who we are in our sport. I hope that many of you out there decide to join us in Wilmington. Come spend some time with some like-minded people. And it's a great opportunity for all of us to get together and help grow the games of baseball and softball. So we hope to see you there.
What does it mean to you to be the best?
I would answer that it's this constant pursuit that we're all on is, especially in the coaching world, is we're trying to be the best versions of ourselves. And I think it's not about being better than the person to your right or to your left or someone that came before you or even someone that's going to come after you. It's really about trying to figure out what the best version of us as individuals can be. Getting right between our own two ears mentally, getting right spiritually. I think growing and learning how to manage ourselves emotionally. And then the best coaches out there are great communicators. And you're trying to communicate at a very high level, whether with your staff, your team, your administration. We talk about that a lot in our program. It's about best versions. And that's obviously part of my journey is I'm trying to be the best version of myself.
Could you say an example or a few examples of the core values that you have learned from the game that help you to be the best version of yourself or to help your athletes be the best version?
Figuring out what matters the most. This is year 19 for me. It took me maybe a longer than some, but within the last few years, I've really come to understand what truly matters in the game, and it's not wins and losses. It's totally about people, and you got to learn that inside the game as well. It's not about an individual. It's not about having a great shortstop. Number one arm. You have to have the right people around those players, or your team doesn't have a chance to win its last. So, really paying attention and being very intentional about collecting the right people, helping those people become, again, the best versions of themselves. I think that's the key to any of us have in this sport is really have to acknowledge how important people are. The other part of it too is process. And I think it's easy in our space to acknowledge the right side of the scoreboard and the runs and the hits and the errors and pay attention to that side when, man, we're sitting here in the third inning. And if we take care of the third, if we win the third, if we win this pitch and this second bat, with the runner on base, it's a process. Well, it's no different than when we're talking about that's the growth of our team. The team that we had in August, much different than the team that we finished in November with. Much different than the team that'll show up in January. We'll get better as we keep playing games. We'll be a better version of ourselves. But it's also individual journey. You have to value and appreciate that process of growth and development. And those are two things you have to have in baseball. I mean, baseball is going to force you to be patient. It's not going to give you what you want when you want it. If you're chasing hits, it usually doesn't give you a hit. I think those are the two things that jump off the most. The game's taught me, and it's definitely things we try to carry over to our team.
Why do you do what you do?
Our goal on our coaching staff and our program is to empower our players with the confidence and courage to go out into the world and act on their own thoughts and ideas. At its core, you're trying to challenge young men to grow up. You're trying to challenge them to see themselves differently than they did before they showed up in your program. You're teaching them how to rewrite their own story. And when they start to feel like they have pen to paper and they have a hand in, scripting out for themselves, again, not only what they want to do, but who they want to become, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to empower them so that when they get out in life, if they want to make a midlife career change, they have the confidence and courage to do that. They've definitely given it enough thought, explored all the options. We talk about having solution-oriented people in our program. And that's the crux of it. I want dudes that can literally change on a dime, but I know if they make that move in their life, it's done with care. That's for us. That's our mission. Help our guys get that understanding of who they are.
Has there been any other coach, I guess really from any level, that you either admire or respect that has shared information with you?
Oh man, how much time you got? Man, there's been so many, and a lot of great coaches. I mean, I think the more that you spend time with older coaches, I'm a firm believer. Wrinkles are experiences that I don't have to go through. So, trying to with older coaches and pick their brains and listen to how they, at whatever point in their advance, that they see the world and they see themselves. They see, mistakes they may have made early or pivots that they made. I listen to older coaches a lot. I think a lot of that really, comes back to where I've arrived the last few years is what matters the most. Being young and ambitious and driven, but focused on, wins and losses and selfishly pursuing results. When you listen to older coaches, they kind of tell you, hey, young buck, that's not what it's about. It's really about these players. It's really about their growth. When you actually make it about them, you'll win more games. And that any more dead on that I've experienced the last few years is making the environment and the focus completely about the player has opened our doors to wins and winning championships. So yeah, I think that's the biggest piece that comes from it is, so many guys have offered advice like that it really does. It rocks you to your core. It makes you step back and look at even what I'm doing today. I'm always making sure that what I do not only lines up with my short-term vision or plan, but it really is in sync with the long-term vision and plan, not only for myself, for our program, for my players. And I think that comes from listening to really experienced older coaches.
If you could give any piece of advice to a younger player, a younger coach, what would it be?
Wow. Sounds redundant. I definitely give you a little bit of light here. Definitely to my younger self, man, get out of your, we are so young and driven. I think ambition is a great thing, but without direction is pure ego. And I think when you allow your drive sort of dictate how you communicate and your patience level and what you prioritize. And I think we're all, as young coaches, we're guilty of that. So I think for young coaches, guide them to, once again, really step back, get out of that I always call it's a short-sighted view of the world. And I think it's because you don't have experience to draw upon. You don't have perspective yet. So you're trying to help young people not be so short-sighted. You want them to look at what they want to do in that moment, but man, in the big picture, is that really the best move? To say that to him right now to fix his swing with some mechanical cue, yes, that might fix his swing right now. But is that going to him 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, 2 years from now? Because if he knows he can always go to you and you're going to drop a mechanical cue on him, are you literally hamstringing that kid to where years from now, man, he's so driven to go to a coach to get an answer instead of coming up creatively with the answer on his own? And so just always challenging our guys, our younger coaches, just to think differently about how we can, play the long vision plan in mind. That's exactly what I would tell young coaches.